last time we played, you guys were still on Mercana. You had just taken out the AA guns, and then you were sent to sweep and clear a palace that had a that was the hideout of a member of the Separatist Council. You went there, you killed a bunch of mercs and battle droids, and the guy was not there, but you did find his computer, and there was a message that he sent to his advisor, Denaria Key, um,
Mm-hmm.
that was saying, "Hey, there was this guy that I want you to meet on Nar Shaddaa. Uh, Go to this place and meet him there." So you got that intel. Your handler ordered you to recall to the command ship, uh, during which the city was bombed by fucking Tarkin. Like under his orders, the city was bombed.
Mm-hmm.
And then while you were at the barracks, um, there was a little bit of a debacle where you guys were trying to smuggle the explosives, but then they found it under all the fucking MRE wrappers. Uh, so all that stuff was confiscated, and
Damn lunchbox.
yeah, it was just when in doubt, lunchbox. Um, but yeah, you have been given your next set of orders to go to Nar Shaddaa. You were given like your choice of civilian apparel that you can wear if you want to. Um,
I think
and
we all agreed to go low key, I think.
yeah, I don't remember what you guys wound up doing, but you do have that option of either banal or like apparel or uh, like hooded robes. So you've got that, um,
Mm-hmm.
and you've been given your orders um, to venture to the whatchamacallit, to Nar Shaddaa. I need to find a message I sent to Marty just as a reminder of a vision that you had. Oh, jeez, we've had a long ass conversation since. I'll just hold on. I'll just repost it. Give me a moment.
Mhm.
Okie dokie.
So, because basically, like he
Flashback
had a
moment.
yeah, because he had a like basically because just for context, his character, his race has the ability to have like glimpses of the future. So,
Mm.
alright, so just a reminder, Marty, that is as you were
If
meditating
only
during.
Dari had those moments,
Yeah,
she would have avoided a lot of the shit she did.
yeah, no shit. um, but um, yeah, so that is what you would have been like if you said you were meditating aboard the shuttle. That is what you would have uh like foreseen. Whether you choose to share that with the party now or later on is up to you. But anyway, so you guys are in transit. Lunchbox is piloting. Everybody else is left to their own devices. Is there anything anybody else would like to do during this time, or do you want to skip ahead to Nar Shaddaa?
Um, I probably will be doing a quick round of uh, what is it? Just to check over people, make sure everyone seems to be healing up very nicely before we arrive to Nar Shaddaa. So that means I'll probably be checking over who still is got injuries that haven't disappeared or have been
Everybody,
injured.
all the player characters are currently at full health.
Okay, so I think what was it? Um, Marty's character and I remember someone else's character was injured a bit of the time in last session. So I think
I mean,
I,
just about
I
everybody
correct
got
me if I'm
fucking
wrong.
lit up.
I was thinking about the most injured because someone did get really whacked around a lot and
I
was doing a lot
know
of.
Arthur was in like a fight for survival against a.
Mhm.
He was fighting. Oh, I know he was fighting a super battle droid, but he was, I think, fighting something else.
Yeah,
Um, well, no,
but
I know about the super
yeah,
battle droid, but um, yeah, you guys were in some
I'll
pretty.
go. I'll be checking on everyone. I'll think. I believe Trenema and Arto would have been the two that I would have been checking on the most because of injuries. So I'll be checking on the Jedi
Okay.
and going knock, knock, knock on their door.
Would it be funny if I said I knew you were coming?
Was it the boots?
Um, yes.
How you holding up? Your wounds are a bit better?
I went into a Jedi healing trance and was able to recover a little bit faster. Thank you so
Ah,
much for your attention.
I'll rather go ahead and make sure that everyone's in fit form since we're going to be going on on an intel mission. So just thought I'd go ahead and make sure you're all patched up.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Well, that's good. Anything else I
Um,
can help you with?
not at this time.
Hmm.
And, and not at this time. Thank you.
Okay.
I I do believe that that is, pretty much
Yep. All
it.
right. That's fair. That is fair. And I'll check on everyone else. So that would be Mel and da 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 da. Make sure they're all fine. And yeah, I'm trying to show a softer side than just making holes and wounds and so forth
Yeah,
and
so you go to
dismemberment.
see Mel, and Mel, what are you up to?
Probably just making sure all my ugh words, all my equipment is in check. Like because I remember that I I have the data goggles, which I think I declare which knowledge skill before I go
Yeah.
into stuff. I was I probably I'm not sure what I'll probably just declare it before I roll it,
Yep.
just because I
The
can't think of which. I don't know what would be useful yet.
Potshot probably walk past see you doing that and goes, make sure you depolarize the energy cell before you go ahead and detach it. I
Huh?
don't
What do
want you
you
have.
just like they just get shocked by it as I'm like, what do you mean by that? Just oh, that. Thank you.
Yeah, because if you don't do that, then you're gonna get burns and then have an explosion, and then I have to fix you. So just depolarize that energy cell before you detach it.
Will do. Thank you.
You're
Thanks, Doc.
welcome. Yep. And gives you a nice little bit of a thunk on the back. Hope it doesn't bump you.
Yeah. So while you guys are doing that, you hear, like, you feel a slight, like, jolt, that, you would sort of associate with a ship coming out of hyperspace. Over comms, you hear Lunchbox, uh, say, like, everybody, uh, like, please take your seats. We're going to be, like, we've reached Nar Shaddaa. We're going to be coming in for a landing at the spaceport. Um, does everybody like is anybody going to like check scanners or just go straight sit down or look out the window or what do you want to do?
Let's. Uh...
We reached Nar Shaddaa. We will be landing in a bit.
Pretty much.
Please put your trays in the upright position and whatnot.
Yeah.
I butchered that.
Well,
So yeah,
I'll
so I'll say
probably
that.
will go
Feel,
to the cockpit.
Okay.
feel
So
free to take your meals into the cockpit.
so yeah, so if you look if you look out at Nar Shaddaa, like so like look out the window, like this is basically the planet that you see. Like it's a
Mhm.
pretty dark, shadowy planet. Like the angle that you're approaching from is current. Like this side of the planet is facing away from the sun, so it's nighttime. As such, the city it's basically it's a city planet, much like Coruscant. The whole
Mm.
thing
Yes, it is.
is brightly lit, but and like the dark like the shroud away from the sun, like the darker side of the planet, basically illuminates that even more so. Um, so Lunchbox is going to he brings the ship into a port. Um, like the Typhoon, the wings fold up and it touches down at a landing pad. Um, and the ship like kind of bumps, like sort of bounces a little bit as the landing gear kind of collides, and the ramp deploys. So you guys are able to step out of the Typhoon as you see fit. The question is, are you guys going to be like, who is going in disguise and who is not?
I would have changed into the concealing robe.
Okay. So you've
Yeah,
got,
I'm also wearing the
let me see.
concealing robes because
So equipment.
I don't.
Yep. Okay. So you got
Because
that.
aren't just like a what's it called? A rare kind of like
Yes.
race in Star Wars. Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, let's wear the robes that make it less conspicuous,
Okay.
and they have to pick us out of a lineup of, oh yeah, I saw that face before.
Yep. So you've got the concealing robes, uh, and Trenimer, I'm assuming you're also wearing concealing robes.
Yeah, it probably would not be a good idea to advertise just how Jedi I am.
Yeah. And I can assume with that logic that you've got your weapons like kind of tucked under the robes,
Oh
or
yeah,
in like any kind of storage
they're
bags.
hanging under a poncho. They're
Exactly.
hanging under a poncho.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, lunchbox, yeah, like as you're passing through Trenimer, he says, "Sir, should I take the like, leave the shuttle here, or uh, you know, like fly off and then come
It's
back as
Nar
needed?"
Shaddaa. Do you want to leave anything here for people to go ahead and jump onto?
Bill, well, basically the other two, like the NPC clones in your crew, Backlash and Smolder, uh, they say, "Not to worry, Lieutenant. We will lock down the ship."
All right. And
So
keep an eye on it. We don't want bugs getting into the ship too.
he says, "Yes,
And you
sir."
know what they're like. They'll eat everything. And then Lunchbox will get angry, and then we're gonna have a hangry pilot on the way home. We don't want that.
So they say, "Yes, sir," and yeah, after you after you and the other PCs, bar Lunchbox, step out of the ship, they raise the ramp, uh, like like they don't stand outside of the ship. They just like they're going to be basically waiting in the ship as sort of like a react force, and Lunchbox is probably looking out the window, like having like a space sub or something.
Mm.
I don't know if like Subway exists in Star Wars, but um,
We'll call it a space sub.
okay, space sub it is. So you guys step out of Nar Shaddaa. The air is very, very cool, but like it's very well. I don't know. I think Nar Shaddaa. I don't remember how like what the air is like, to be honest, because I don't want to say.
Nobody describes it, but imagine a lawless planet where anything is
Okay, and
allowed.
so basically, well, I'm just trying to figure the best way to. So the planet, the air quality is not the greatest. It is very like you can like like it's very polluted and smoggy, kind of hard to breathe, but still breathable enough. Um, it's very like the air is kind of dry and sort of warm, loud as fuck, very very bright lights. I have a like a mood background kind of thing that I will activate now. Um, so this is kind of a little bit of a little bit of context as to what Nar Shaddaa is looking like, and I'll just move these tokens to the side. Um, but like it's this very urban, cyberpunkish sort of planet, like dark, like rusty skies, clouded, like can't really see any stars in the sky or anything, and it's very like basically the only real light is from all the buildings and signs and stuff. Um, so
Yeah, after
just
looking at cyberpunk, you're absolutely right. Uh, it is extremely cyberpunky.
then there you
Very
go.
cyberpunky. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So just as a reminder, Nar Shaddaa, trying to see which briefing it was in. Well, I mean, you can look in the story notes, but the Pascal Argente's orders to his aide were saying, like to make your way to Club Milo in the Corellian sector. So Lunchbox brought the shuttle to the Corellian sector,
Okay.
and
Well, at least then we don't need to travel as far.
yeah, you don't need to travel as far, but you don't know where it is. So I'm going to say you're going to need to do a streetwise roll, which let me pull up the difficulty I had.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to be doing an average streetwise with 2 setbacks. And the 2 setbacks, number 1, the streets are busy as fuck, and also the whatchamacallit, the like the streets are busy, and it's also kind of like everything pretty much looks the same.
So medium difficulty.
Yeah,
with
average
two
with 2
setbacks. Is that
setbacks.
what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
So before you roll, I'm going to check to see, because I think somebody bought a piece of gear that would help with this. Yes, Jackal has an urban compass, which removes 2 setbacks from checks due to unfamiliarity with the city, traffic, or other avoidable travel hazards.
Who bought that?
Jackal.
Astron.
Yeah, Astron the sniper. So, if he's helping you with that, yeah, because I'm assuming he would have done so if he was here. Which I mean, I see he's on Foundry, but he's not currently in the session. Oh, he's typing in chat. I'll say you can get the benefits from the compass. So that's just an average streetwise for anybody who would like to make that.
I've only got 2 in Streetwise, 2 greens, so I'm not probably going to be the best one for this.
I have 3 greens,
Okay, that's a start.
so I could attempt it.
Yeah, I mean, somebody could
Yep,
give you
go ahead,
a
you roll.
yeah, somebody can give you a boost if you do like a combined check to be looking around.
Me.
Okay.
I'll give you an
Okay.
unskilled assist.
So a boost.
Yeah, so you get a
Okay.
boost. And the difficulty is
And
2.
then I'm using the compass.
Yeah, the compass will remove the 2 setbacks, so just don't put those in.
Great.
Oh my. Okay, so you with the extra successes, I think those would kind of cut down on the travel time or something. I don't know if it's successes or advantages, but for now we'll say successes. So you managed to, through a means of like following basic like signs like, oh, Club Milo 2 blocks from here, and then you get to 2 blocks, and then you ask a local like, hey, do you know where Club Milo is? And then guys like, yeah, it's like around the corner to the left. So you make your way into this nightclub that like the music's like the boom boom boom, like pounding kind of soundtrack. Yeah, pretty much. Um, that kind of sound, like it's playing like a song in Huttese. Um, pretty busy. There's some dancers and like waiters and waitresses like bustling around serving people drinks. There's some people grooving out, and then there's a bar like basically dead ahead of you, about like 20 30 feet ahead of you there is a bar. So yeah, like a counter and like a bartender and all that. So what do you guys do?
Oh. I approach the bar and I just lean over casually, taking in the environment, looking left and right.
Okay. While you're doing that, what is everybody else up to?
I'm keeping watch to make sure that we're not seem to have piqued people's curiosity of new flesh, new people in town. So
Okay,
I'm
so
just making sure
are
everyone
you
stays
waiting at the
safe.
bar, or are you just kind of chilling out in like a dark corner?
I'm chilling out. I would say I'd be chilling out in the dark corner.
Also, I have a quick question that I need to ask somebody in DMs.
Mm.
Okay.
Now, who are you going to
Mm.
ask is the question. Oh, shit.
Apparently, you.
I think you answered your own question there, bud.
Yep. Okay. Um.
Totally
Now
not
I'm
a
curious
giveaway.
about the question.
I'm always, as you should be, always be curious. Bam, bam.
So anyway, while that's going, and then Mel, what are you up to?
I'll just be chilling by the bar, like keeping an eye out, but like casually, like I'm, just stroll up, like, yeah, I'm at the bar watching. There we go. No need to add extra. Good
Okay.
job, self.
So you guys are just looking around, and the bartender notices fucking Trenimer and Mel, wearing your like hoods and all that stuff, and like he sort of jokingly says, "Hey, cultists, you looking for a good drink?"
Cultists?
Well, yeah, I mean, there are two people wearing fucking hooded robes and then sitting at the bar together. It's like, yeah, like, well, what the hell else is he supposed to assume?
Oh, he's being a smartass.
Yeah, he's being a
Okay.
smartass.
Um, and Trenimer asks for a Corellian ale. Since
And
we're in the Corellian
yeah,
sector.
he says, yeah, an individual of fine taste coming right up. And so he departs for a brief moment, and he brings back a bottle, or like a bottle and a glass of Corellian ale, and he says, that'll be 20 credits.
Um, well, Trenimer hands over 20 credits and
Actually, how much is it
looks
in
over
in,
and
in
do
game?
you want any?
I guess it doesn't have a price. Okay, never
Sure,
mind.
yeah, you can set me up a glass as well.
Yep. Okay, so basically both of you fork over 20 credits each. He gets you guys a drink, and so he says, what's your story? What are you doing here?
Um, right now we're just trying to take in the sights of wonderful Nar Shaddaa.
And then he just like laughs a little bit and say, "Oh, wonderful Nar Shaddaa. I'm gonna have to remember that. That's ironic as hell." Or like whatever the Star Wars equivalent, like saying like that's ironic. Um, and yes, Science like, well, I mean, wonderful Nar Shaddaa. I mean, you got a wonderful side of my wonderful establishment of Club Milo. Uh, and uh, he doesn't really have any like he doesn't really say anything else, but he lingers for just a moment in case anybody else asks him anything.
Right. Well, we are actually also interested in finding some, talking to someone.
The guy says, "Well, who are you looking for? If it's a regular Club Milo, might be able to point you in his or her direction."
Um, well, we don't know yet. Can we get back to you on this? Um, with our next glass, please.
Uh,
I mean, so out of character, we are in Club Milo.
yes.
I forget. Did we find the name of the person? Because I'm looking at Basil Argenti's orders, and the name is not in there.
The name of the guy you were sent to find?
Yes.
Well, that's just it. The guy didn't give Pascal Argente his name.
Right.
Like basically he gave uh Passo Argente, the like he gave like a time and a place. Uh,
Right.
and then like Denaria gave her description, so like if Denaria shows up, the
No,
guy will
no.
contact her.
Yeah.
If memory
Yeah, I think it
serves.
was just Denari that there's only mention of Denari, General Grievous, Count Dooku. So unless it's Denari we're trying to find.
Well, you were sent here because Denaria, like there was a lead. Like you guys were sent to find Passo Argente. He wasn't there, but then you got a lead saying his aide, Denaria Key, was sent to meet with somebody else. So basically, you're going there to try to see if you can find Denaria. That's what your mission is.
Yeah. Do we know what Denario looks like?
Um, she is, I would say, because this depends on how common knowledge this is. Uh,
Would a knowledge skill help if
yeah, do
anything?
like a knowledge, I'd say, knowledge education.
Alrighty. Which one
That
would
would
be
be, I would say, it would
applicable?
be average difficulty, by the way.
Okay. So when you say education, yep, I see it.
Yeah, knowledge education.
Let's do knowledge
Actually, well, yeah, no, never mind.
education.
Education still works.
You said average, so 2.
Yeah, average is 2.
Yep, I succeeded.
Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, and Tretimer, would you like to make the roll?
Ooh.
What? I'm saying you. Do you want to make a roll to, like, it's knowledge education, 2 purple, to see if you know, like, Denaria Key, like, what she looks like and stuff.
Yeah.
And also, hi, Astron.
I'm
Hello.
Hi, Astron.
ultimately actually it doesn't matter. Because uh both of them are the same. So nope. No
I'll
clue.
roll.
So, uh,
There we go.
okay, so,
Where is Jackal in the midst of this? Is
yeah,
the
that's a good question. So
before we
just as
go
a recap,
further.
Jackal, what's currently going on is you guys have touched down at Nar Shaddaa, you made your way to Club Milo, and you were asking basically, whatchamacallit, you met the bartender and you guys are trying to find Denaria Key. Well, correction, you're trying to find somebody. It hasn't been specified who, but you were trying to remember, like, do we know who Denaria Key is, what she looks like? And that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. Everybody can do an average knowledge education to see if you also do an average knowledge education to see if you recognize what she looks like. Okay, so the threats, I'll just say for both the people who got threats, you get a point of strain just because it's like you're trying to concentrate and like remember, and then like the music's just really loud and it's kind of giving you a headache, just distracting you. So for Mel and for Potshot, just as a meta thing, I will post Denaria's like a picture of Denaria. There aren't that many in the chat in Aurodium Rush. Um, yes, that is actually apparently female Denaria Key, um, who is a what is the race? Kurivar, and she's the personal assistant and chief aide to Pass Argente.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep,
so,
and I know that species.
hmm so basically, uh, like Trenimer and uh, basically Trenimer, you're not familiar with Denaria, but for like maybe we could say that like uh, Mel, I would say for you it's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm guessing with your character you would probably have like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but probably maybe did some research during the flight, and that's how you
Definitely.
know.
Most likely.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then Hotshot and Jackal, I would say that's pretty much up to you, like how you would know what, like, because Denaria isn't
Like
necessarily
to
a big.
familiarize myself with my targets.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I probably would have made sure to remember like height, weight, not height, weight, height, description, anything distinguishing with the advantages. I would say like maybe distinguishing marks,
Yep.
scars, or
hmm
something that gives a bit of a detail to it.
So, Yep. So you guys know, or like all Bartrenemer are familiar with the appearance of Denaria Key. Um, so the question is that like what? Well, yeah, just I'll simplify it. Well, actually, before that, a question for Jackal is where are you positioning yourself uh in the club? Because we've currently got Potshot who's kind of lurking out of sight in case shit goes down, and then we've got
Oops.
Mel and Trenemer who went up to the bar to talk. So where would you
I'd
position?
definitely go up to the bar as well.
Okay, so you got three people going to the bar, and also, are you going to be wearing
I'll
your
probably like.
armor, or are you wearing like civilian clothing?
I'm wearing the concealing robes, I
Okay,
believe it is.
so everybody,
Yep, I have
yeah,
concealing robes equipped,
all right,
and I will go up to the bar, but I'll like split off and go down a few seats and like keep an eye on things,
okay,
try and keep watch.
okay. Um, so, uh, and then for you in particular, I have another question of whether you are bringing your sniper rifle in, or you're going to keep it discreet with just a pistol.
As much as I hate to say it, I don't think I'll be able to get the rifle in here without a little too much of a show,
Yeah,
a scene, if you will.
yeah. So,
So I will leave the rifle
okay,
probably on the ship,
okay. And the ship
but I
is
will have
secure
my
with.
pistol
Okay.
concealed within my
Yep.
robes.
Yeah, that makes sense because we've got Potshot has his two pistols, concealed, and then Trenemer's lightsaber is hidden and Mel's pistol is hidden. So you guys are doing well with concealing your weapons. Um, but anyway, so you guys are sitting at three out of four are sitting at the bar, and you after the bartender was asking you. Well, I think he asked you who you were looking for. I got kind of sidetracked by the question of like, oh, what do we know what Denaria looks like? But you do know what Denaria looks like. So,
Fantastic. I suspect that. Oh, Mel probably saw a picture on on the on the desk that you were slicing into,
Probably.
or something along those lines.
Or I was using her desk and just she has a picture of herself. Just oh right,
Right. Not narcissistic at all.
not at all.
so, so now with that out of the way, do you directly ask about Denaria or anybody else?
um, well, we can ask whether the bartender has seen Denaria, and Trenemer slides a credit chip of 50 over.
Okay, I would say give me a hard uh like I feel like probably negotiation if you're using like money for it. I know negotiation is usually for like bartering kind of deal, but in this case, like narratively, like the name of the skill kind of makes sense. So I would say it's a hard negotiation with a boost because you put money on the table to sweeten the deal.
Okay, well, I can tell you right now, this is hard. You say?
Hard.
Okay, this is going to suck.
Well, somebody else can give you a boost, maybe, or
Mm,
uh, so
crap.
the basically the failure, is that he doesn't accept that amount of money, and the threat is basically, uh, he's saying like, double or nothing. Like he's saying like, information has its price on Nar Shaddaa, and especially in my bar.
Okay, well,
I'll push
adds
over
another. Okay,
like
there we go.
All right,
there we
so
go.
you add another 50 credits onto the pile. Same roll as before. Like potentially now. Now
Somebody else can make it.
the question is, since Mel, are you're putting in another 50? Are you going to be wanting to be trying to do the talking?
Um, I can attempt it. It's a negotiation.
Yes, negotiation. It is going to be 3 purples and a boost.
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
I shouldn't be doing that. I only have as presents, I only have 1 green die.
Oh my gosh, you flicked right over.
Yeah, just like me.
I'm probably
I mean, I can attempt
overhearing.
it.
I probably would overhear the struggle of the conversation and probably come out from where I'm positioned, and will come up to the bar and just put my arms around both of them. And go, what's going on? Why haven't we found Denario yet? And looks at the bartender and says, "Have you seen her?"
And the bartender has like this sheepish grin on his face. He shrugs. He's like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people come and go in Club Milo. Wish I could say.
Right. Give me a minute. Where is I? I'm trying to find my negotiate. I'll do the roll because I've got 2 greens, so it'll
Okay.
be a bit better. You said it's a
It's a 3 purple difficulty with boost because you're trying to
yep,
bribe him.
and I will flip a destiny
Okay,
point
so that
to get
gives you a yellow
gives me an
instead of a
upgrade.
green. Yeah, it upgrades. So hit the upgrade one.
Hmm. Okay, and let's see how we go.
Oh my. So you succeed. That he says. So you. Oh, first of all, somebody forks over an additional 50 credits. So party's down 100 credits collectively. And the guy says, "Oh yeah, come to think of it, I actually did see. There was a. I think what was the name of the race again of Denaria's people? I'm trying to double check that. A Karuvan. He's like, yeah, I've there was a Karuvan, like red skinned, wearing like some like a hood and all that stuff came through here not that long ago actually. I mean like I can't really remember exactly how long. That's what the threats are, is that he's kind of cryptic with the details, whether deliberately or just not having enough to go off of. But he does at least say, yeah, she did come through here. But the threats are is that
How long ago?
he says I don't know. He says, like, I haven't exactly been keeping track of the chrono. I've been working a long ass shift, serving drinks, dealing in drinks and rumors. Wish I could
Is
say, but I
there?
mean, she did come through here.
Did you maybe overheard a conversation of hers, or do you try to keep your ears to the ground?
Um, he says, uh, he the one you're looking for, I mean, was having a little bit of a conversation with a regular here. Um, I didn't catch the details of the conversation, but I saw her uh, having a chat with a guy.
Do you wanna? Is the person in the bar and tries to turn saying, "Can you point us in the direction?"
Yeah, he literally points to the guy who is sitting right next to one of you. Like there's a guy sitting at the bar, like he's been sort of tuned out of the conversation, but there's a guy
Mm.
there who has a like he's blonde, has an army green scarf, and I will share a picture of him.
Oh boy.
So let's see. Oh, why are you saying, oh boy? It's just a guy.
No, it's the fact that he's been sitting here the whole time.
Well, I mean, he hasn't been mentioned by name, so it's not like he's going to perk up. But um,
Fair point.
he like basically the bartender, like when you're asking like who was Denari talking to, he literally just looks over and points to the guy at the bar.
Mm. Fair point. Fair point.
And the guy looks a little bit intoxicated, like he's had more than a few drinks. He's like sort of has like tired eyes, is sort of like sitting like a statue, you know, like maybe with a little bit of a delirious kind of wobble, hunched over low, holding the bottle, you know. So
Hmm.
he gestures over to that guy and yeah, and then just shrugs and then and then starts to make his way to deal with another customer unless somebody says something to him.
No, I don't think we're going to get any more out of him.
Okay, then the bartender walks off.
Unless anyone else thinks the same thing.
I I think the conversation with the bartender is over.
Yep,
Um,
we've learned what we
so
could.
yeah, so as Potshot is hanging over you two, arms over both yous, and goes, "So who wants to talk to that guy?"
We just both turn and look at you like, really? You're asking us that?
Oh God. Basically, we'll throw arms off of them and go and sort of slink into a chair. Sort of looks at the bar and then looks at the person that got pointed out and goes, "Hey, I heard a friend of yours came to see you. We're trying to locate Denaria. There's
Um, so you so
Yep.
you're saying that to the guy. The guy does not like unless you like if you're just talking to him, he doesn't necessarily respond to it because he's just kind of like he's not really looking in your direction. He's just sort of kind of out of it. Um,
Oh
unless
dear Lord.
somebody like actually tries anything else.
I know a better way. Throws hand up to the bartender to turn and say, uh, two, one Korean and whatever he's having, and I'll pay for it.
And the bartender, he like he gives like he's in the middle of uh talking to some other people and like serving them a drink, but he does hear you and he gives you like a thumbs up and like a sort of like a hold on kind of gesture. Um,
Oh,
like
good.
he'll do that, but not immediately.
It's okay.
So there's a little like there's a window of time in case anybody wants to like say or do anything else.
There comes a point in time where you realize that shutting up is actually better, especially if your speaking skills are next to zero. That's where I am.
You're just all about throwing things at people and mowing them down with it. That's all you're good. You're pretty much like lift and throw. I'm done.
Yeah, if you need to
That's
earthbend this guy, then Trenimer's just the guy for it. But
I think
That's exactly it.
Potshot's gonna say gingerly underneath their breath in a mic saying, "Do you want to try to bend him into a pretzel?"
And that would be quite literally the easiest thing to do. Um, okay, somebody talk to him.
I go ahead. You know what? Hold on. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I am gonna do this. I know it's gonna be the wrong way about doing it, but it's a good way to do it. I go ahead and I'll turn, bump the guy, and rotate him around, and I'll just turn, have somehow pulled out my hand blaster and just put it right in front of me and go, "Hey, I need information. I want it quickly."
Hey, then.
the guy turns
I,
to look at you.
I've got it. I've got the blaster close enough to me that it's going to be within his sight to see it, but it's not going to be within eyesight for anyone else to see.
Okay, well if you're doing that, that's going to be a coercion.
Let's see. How well's my coercion?
Uh, your difficulty is 2 purple.
Easy. I think I can do that.
However, I'm going to flip a destiny
Uh-oh.
points, and that's now 1 purple, 1 red.
One purple, one red. Okay. And I will flip one so I can go ahead and do an upgrade.
Okay, so you get a yellow replacing a green.
Okay, so to ensure this, yellow, green, red, and two purples, correct?
No, 1 red, 1 purple.
Okay. Um, And because I've got the other two near me, is kind of that gonna
Are
give me
they assisting you?
food? That's actually a good question. Would they be assisting?
Uh,
Not unless Trainer is
nope.
like, nope, fuck this shit, I'm gone.
Well, it depends on who has, like, because coercion is based on willpower.
Ah. Yep. I'll be helping.
Okay, how are you
Boost.
helping?
We do it together, actually. 3 greens.
Okay, so it's 3 greens, and in this case, well, it would be 3 greens, but one of those is a yellow because you flipped a point. So basically, you just
Okay.
add an extra green.
Extra
So
green. Cool. Yeah, that should be good. 1 yellow, 2 greens, a red, and a purple. No, what could possibly go wrong? Oh boy.
you succeeded.
Oh shit! Yes.
So
Good
And I'm
job,
I'm
man.
blankly I'm blankly looking at this person, and all he can see is my eyes just looking at him.
I thought you said you had like, your
It's a wrap, so essentially it's the concealing robe, but basically it is like as if it's almost like you're wearing it's like wearing not
like a
to be
turban kind of.
culturally sort of like a turban thing, but it's just the fact that basically all you can see is like basically mouth and all this stuff is wrapped up, and all you can see is through that is just the
Okay,
eyes.
well the question, and
And I'm
also question
looking.
is, do you have any kind of like vocal alteration kind of thing going, or
I'm putting on a voice.
okay, um, so the yeah, the guy uh looks at you. So what did you say to him?
Hey, I want to know where Denari is because we need to see her. So I would like to get to meet her and know where she is. So like
So
basically just yeah.
so what he says, he looks to you and he's basically saying in like a space Scottish accent, like that I can't do properly, so I'm not going to. But he basically says to you, it's like, Denaria is long gone. Went back to the Separatist. Why are you? What are you looking for from her?
Oh, basically she owes me a few credits. And I was told she was going to be here, but apparently looks like my intel was off. So I need to meet her. Do you know where exactly she went?
And what he says is, now what I'll say to you is, if you're trying to, hmm, what I'll do the easiest way for the sake of, hmm, let me think for a moment. So he, uh, you say that to him, like, where is she? And he says, like, oh, beats me. I met with her an hour ago, and uh, she went back to parts unknown. Uh, are you looking for the Aurodium too? And when he says that, um, the the bar is still somewhat noisy, but I want everybody to make a vigilance check, not an initiative vigilance, but a vigilance of, I would say, 3 purple.
Fun.
3 threats, 2 successes.
Okay. Let's see. So Mel,
Difficulty 3, you said?
difficulty 3
I
for
got 2
vigilance.
threats.
Jackal. Oh my god.
Or Trenimer.
You're not doing well. Poor Trenimer. He's not earthbending. This is why. He's not earthbending.
Okay, and we just need Jackal. Are you there?
Oh boy.
Okay.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
It's
So
not combat related.
General.
It
yeah,
is.
it's just
It's
General.
a
just.
passive kind of vigilance.
Hard.
Yes, hard vigilance. Wow.
Hey.
So the guy who failed got an advantage, and everybody else got threats. So um, basically, what everybody else notices. So Trenimer, I'll say, your advantage, you can spend that however you want, but after I say this, for the 3 of you who succeeded but got a bunch of threats, you notice that there are guys seated at tables nearby who they perk up when they hear the word Aurodium, and they're like, Aurodium, and they're like, look, like there are multiple eyes on your table, and like, what's going on, like
Glad I'm
all,
sitting separately.
yeah, like, well, the guy blurts that out, and then everybody, like, now all eyes are on you, and I would say the
Uh-oh.
threats, don't necessarily want to dole out a ton of strain, but help me out here. What do you think, like, for in terms of like an oh shit kind of reaction, like what kind of narrative or mechanical penalties would that have? I'll leave that to the players.
Well, would the fact that that I'm sitting there, would these guys actually have? So where are they sitting? Are they directly like if I'm facing towards the guy, so I've literally gone from bars to the right of me, facing this guy, twirled and around with my hand blaster pressed up against myself, close as possible to give that
I'll draw a
coercion.
little diagram. Okay, so hold on. So you guys see
Yes.
that orange rectangle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's see. So the guy is here.
Because
Let's see.
narratively, I'm thinking about if if these guys are seeing the blaster in my hand
Well, I mean, you
while
did
I'm talking to this
specify that you
guy.
were trying to conceal it. Hold on. I
I'm
got.
assuming I'm like a couple seats down over
Yeah, I'm
here.
trying to. Yeah. So I'm just trying to kind of elongate the bar. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so like basically, so say it's like this, and I would say Trenimer, you would probably, because this guy was sitting sort of on his own. Like this is the order that I'm gonna say that you guys were in, especially because Trenimer was trying to help with the coercion. So
Mm-hmm.
this is where you guys are, right? The tables are basically like here, 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 kinda.
Yeah.
And there are groups of guys, like one of them is sitting here,
Mm-hmm.
one of them is sitting here, and the other is sitting here. So basically, there are people in close proximity that they hear this fellow blurt out Aurodium, and then everybody's now looking at him and all of, well, everybody bar Jackal. So
Okay.
depending on what
Uh.
you say or do next, like the point is, with the threats. Now that I've itemized that, that's why I was asking you, what do you want those threats to be? Like, I'll leave this up to the players. Like, I do like by default, I'll probably say something like, uh, like maybe, like I don't want to just default to strain, but if you guys have any better ideas, I'll leave it up to you.
I was gonna turn and say with mine, maybe somehow that might have caused me to shift in my position a little bit. That maybe my blaster gets like a bit of a shine or flicker of light hits the blaster and
Like somebody sees it,
catches
kind of.
ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I
That
like
way I'm
that.
not taking on 3 strain. I can take
Yeah.
maybe like 2 strain if that's
Well, no,
applicable.
I'd say all three strain that everybody that like all those people now know that you're packing. Uh,
Ugh. Yep, that'll do it.
So that's you resolved. So Mel, what
Oh,
would you say that your sort of reaction or penalty or otherwise expenditure of those two threats would be?
Um, because I probably have like my weapon on my hip. It could die as because I'm probably like turned around watching this. I like raise my hand the wrong way and like again they see that I'm wearing a weapon. I have a weapon on me, possibly.
Hang on a sec.
If that makes
Plug in my headset. Sorry about that. My headset was low on power, so I had to plug it in. Um,
you're
anyway,
good.
so what were you saying?
Uh, basically I like I shift position as I'm watching this conversation take place and like just show off that I have a weapon
Oh,
to
okay.
these like
So they know
prying
that
eyes.
you're armed as well. And now for Jackal, so your vigilance, so you succeeded. Like you also noticed that there are some groups of dudes sitting at these tables, and now they are very intently uh, watching Mel, Trenimer, Potshot, and then the guy, and are potentially about to do something. What, like, you notice this, but there's some sort of penalty that applies to you. So what would you like that to be?
I was thinking for mine, maybe like I get a little too antsy and it like I make enough of a show of myself that attention is drawn to me as well.
Ah,
Maybe
yeah.
leads
So
me to the
so
group.
now
Like I
they know.
accidentally knock over my drink as I turn too
Yeah. So
quickly,
they hear a
and
glass
like eyes
shatter, and now these
flicked
guys
at
are watching
me,
you.
and it's like
Okay.
So I'm trying to turn my face away.
Well, okay. With that said, we are going to enter uh, initiative. So toggle combat state for all, and then you guys, you
They
are going
know
to be
two people have guns.
you.
They know I'm with you
Yeah,
and
they're going.
purposefully
Yeah, you're going to
hiding.
be. Everybody's going to be rolling vigilance. So
We are.
Alrighty.
because I added now the question is because I added you all to the initiative order. Well, first I want to remove this guy from the initiative order because he's not probably going to be prominent in it.
He's gonna be running.
Yeah, he's probably going to run or hide or like something. Like he's not going to be an active combatant.
Yeah.
So I'll probably just address him at like the end of the round or on an NPC turn or whatever I feel like doing.
Yeah.
So the question is, are you because I added all of you to the turn order? Are you able to roll your own initiative?
Yeah.
You can roll. You're
Yes.
rolling
It's a
vigilance, just so you know.
vigilance. Cool.
Vigilance.
Okay, vigilance.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. Holy crap, Tridimer.
How do I do the
Now,
initiative?
where
Okay.
was that when we needed it?
Yeah, no shit.
Isn't there a special way I have to
Al, that
roll
was
this?
loud.
Sorry, it's set as like an enter noise.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
Sorry to get here late. Totally
Uh,
forgot.
You sound like
Okay, turning that
not
down.
to sound wrong, but you sound like the mic is actually down your throat.
So, anyway, so just as a
That's
recap,
because it is.
what's going on? So because we're about to enter initiative, so it's a convenient time. So, well, first, Jack, I'll answer your question right quick. In the combat tracker,
Mhm.
there is a button like
I see.
you're at the
I
bottom.
see.
Click that, click vigilance, and then click roll. Okay, so you now did that.
Thank you.
So anyway, so for Blitz, just so you know what's going on, so the party went to Nar Shaddaa. You're currently in a bar. You met a guy who blurted out something about Aurodium, and it got the attention of a bunch of bar patrons who are now looking at you, and they see that you're armed and potentially about to do something, and we're about to enter initiative. So the questions I have for you, right quick, are number one, uh, are you going to be wearing concealing robes or like civilian clothes?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the second question is,
Also,
what's up?
is my mic any better?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
Just out of
much
is.
better.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then my other question for you is, in the bar, before this current dilemma, where was Arthur? Like, were you sitting at the bar with everybody else, or were you like hanging out, kind of surveying the scene, or what were you doing?
I'll say I was kind of on the outskirts, watching from a distance.
Okay, so you would be maybe like, I'd say like here, like the door. I'll draw a like this sort of rectangle would like represent the door. So you are hanging out kind of by the entrance, watching all this. Okay, so the let's see, and then I need to add you to the initiative order, and then what I need you to do is in the combat tracker, click the D20 and then click vigilance and then roll.
Vigilance.
Vigilance,
And
yes.
then no modifiers.
No other modifiers. It's just basically select vigilance and then roll. Okay, awesome. Well, your whole team goes first. Isn't this fun? Okay.
Oh boy.
So, um, round one, I'm going to close that because I don't need it in a separate window. Okay, so a PC goes first.
Are people getting aggressive? Do we see actions being taken?
I would say, because I forgot to do this before, everybody, because now that you've noticed that these guys are watching you, I would say everybody give me, like, this won't cost an action like during combat, but everybody give me a, let's see, I need to double check stat. A, 2 purple stealth, or 2 purple, what you call it? 2 purple perception with 2 setbacks. So 2 purples, 2 blacks.
Do I have anything? No, I'm not wearing my armor, so I don't have any. I can't remove that. And even then, that's only due to certain conditions.
I'm definitely all about the threats today.
Oh my Jesus!
How?
What
Oh,
the?
I have triumph.
Okay,
I don't even know
so
what to make of that.
yeah, me neither. So let's go these one at a time. So, uh, Trenimer, I would say, um, you don't like,
Don't see shit.
yeah, you don't see shit, and the fact that these guys are suddenly very intent, like intense in terms of their stare and all that, take one strain. On pot shot, uh, you notice that uh, they have weapons, and your
Oh
threat
shit.
is basically, yeah, exactly that. Oh shit! So you take 1 point of strain. Arter, you have a better view of these guys, like that they are drawing weapons, and you are, you know, sort of okay, not really okay with it, but like not really nervous about it. Mel, here's going to be the interesting one. Well, one of the two interesting ones. So you succeed in noticing that they have weapons. Um, your triumph, I'll say, if you want, I will tell you what these guys have.
Little BB
Sure.
guns.
Okay. So this group, the members of it are carrying blaster pistols, and these other guys in the other two groups have what look like brass knuckles.
Okay. It's not too bad.
Okay.
So that's what you noticed with your triumph, and then your advantage. What would you like that to be?
I'm not sure what do you have any
Uh,
suggestions?
well, I mean,
There's
with
the word.
one advantage, I mean, you could do things like heal 1 point of strain or pass a boost to the next PC's check. Um, there's not a ton you can do with one
I've got
advantage, but
I've got an idea of what I'm going to do if people let me go first when we start
well,
combat.
hold on. Let's.
So
I just want to resolve the perception right quick.
I know.
Um,
I'll pass a boost to the
okay, to
next
the next
PC.
PC who rolls. Okay, and then Jackal. Your threats. I would say. Let's see. 3 threats. You probably. Let's say you get
I'm
like.
gonna be honest. I'm stressed the fuck out. I am
Well,
in a hostile situation in close
yeah, you
quarters,
don't have a
and I don't
sniper.
have my rifle.
Yeah.
And I don't have my rifle.
So I'm gonna say you get a setback to your first roll in this round,
All right.
and then but your triumph, on the other hand, how do you interpret that?
That these guys don't have your rifle?
This is indeed the hard part.
No, triumph.
Um.
There's a rifle. It's the Winchester, and you just take it and start shooting.
Yes.
I'm just kidding
Okay,
though. Um,
honestly, could my triumph be that like I managed to being off to the side and alone, most of the attention isn't on me, and that I might
um,
be able to. I don't know. I don't. There's not a mechanical way to play
Now I
that,
will
so I
actually
don't
say
know.
that I joked about it before, but I am somewhat now receptive to the idea of maybe there is like a blaster rifle like hanging above the bar that you could conceivably grab if you want to do that.
I thought that might be too out of the too like unrealistic or whatever. If that is actually a possibility, that would be my triumph.
Yeah,
If
that's
there happens to be any range heavy weapon
yeah.
within eyesight, I am
Yeah, there's
going
a
for it.
blaster rifle hanging over the bar.
All
It's
right,
just a generic blaster rifle, but better that than nothing.
I'll take it.
Um, okay, so but you're gonna have to use a maneuver to get it once combat starts.
Only a maneuver? That's a steal.
Yeah. So uh,
Literally.
so anyway, um, so now it's a PC's turn. So who would like to go first?
I will go first because I've got an idea on how I can prolong this to get us out of here. I grab the guy and bring him close to me and have the pistol right next to him and go, okay, we're going.
To this dude?
Let's make way. Yep.
Okay.
That way, these guys, if they were to attack me, they have to hit this guy before they hit me because it's more like a barrier.
You're using him as a human shield?
No, as I said, he is a buffer, not a
Bargaining
human. That too, he's the bargaining chip. So it's like we get the information, you guys stay there, and you don't hit us.
Um.
Some things never change.
Oh, shit. Okay, so let's see. So for your maneuver, you're going to like
Mm,
you've already got your pistol drawn. So as maneuver, like
mhm.
I don't think there's really like an action or maneuvers like precedent for like grabbing somebody and holding. I would say probably picking somebody up is like a maneuver. Um,
Mhm.
and then so one maneuver is spent. So what do you do with either? Like you got a couple options. You could take an action. You can uh downgrade your action to a free maneuver, or you could do an action and then take 2 strain
No,
for a second
the
maneuver.
next bit I'll be turn saying is into this guy's ear, turn saying, "What's this Aurodium's name?" But I won't be saying it out loud. I'll be whispering in his ear, saying, "What is this Aurodium's name?"
And he said, well, I'm going to say if you're going to have a little mini conversation with him, that's probably going to be the rest of your turn, unless you.
That's fine. That's
So
fine.
he says, like, hey, it's a rhodium. It doesn't have a name.
You're shitting me. Don't these guys have names? Well, next turn.
So, yeah, so, um, yeah, next turn. So you basically have this dude at pretty much gunpoint,
Mm.
and like, you're kind of basically like your turn is basically spent like talking to him and like sort of using him as a shield, or not really as a shield, but like just kind of
A buffer.
buffer. Yeah, I guess sure. Okay, so next is another PC. So who would like to be that lucky PC?
Earthbend the tables?
Um, okay. Let's
Oh
see.
shit, I was just joking, but okay.
I would say the tables in this case are not
Turned.
like what?
Nothing.
Well, I would say they're not necessarily like the kind of like liftable table that you see at like diners and like restaurants and stuff. It's more akin to like a booth where it's sort of like built into the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, earthbending the tables is not going to work.
Okay. Is there anything else around?
Um, in terms of like large objects to throw, there's not really anything more substantial than like beer bottles. If you want to
Oh,
go
Unless
for
you
the
want to throw the people.
I was about to say, I have an idea. I can throw them.
Oh no.
well, keep in mind these are minion groups of 3 a pop, so
Yeah.
uh,
It's entirely up to you how you want to handle that.
I would say, do you have a power that lets you lift 3 people at once?
I can. Let's see. Well, yes. Move. I just need to roll enough points to do it. So
Okay.
what would be the silhouette?
They are humans, so they're standard like what, Sil 1?
Okay.
So they are Sil 1. There are 3
Discipline.
of them.
Mm-mm. Mm. And yeah, I'm gonna roll for one and then hope that I can activate it 3 times. Considering how shitty I rolled today, I think that it's not gonna happen. But
Think
it's
positive thoughts. Think positive thoughts. Does it work?
I'm gonna take 3 strain.
Okay. I'll say 4 with that threat.
Okay. Yeah, that's 1, 2, 3. Okay. And I'm going to take let's see, 3 conflict. And then all of a sudden, I have 4 light side points. So, what's the distance? Short range?
Short.
Okay. So that means I just activate the power. And I activate it 3 times.
Okay, so what does that ultimately do?
Hold on. Let me think here. They're all in short range?
Yep. All 3 groups are in short range relative to you.
Activate, upgrade once, and activate 2 more.
I can't really hear you, kind of mumbling under your breath.
Yes, I know. I'm talking to myself.
Okay.
So I activate it. I increase the range, increase the size by 1, and I activate the same power 2 more times. So I can pick up 1 and throw them against the 3rd.
So you're picking up 1 group and throwing it at the 3rd?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm picking up this group.
Okay, these guys.
And throwing it at them.
Okay, so you left these
And-
guys
and
up,
that-
and how much damage does that do?
Well, 10, 12 times 3.
12 times
36.
36. Okay, so I'm assuming now does the group that you're throwing take the damage, the group that's getting hit, or both?
I would say both because, but that is entirely up to you. There's no rules for this, by the way.
Okay,
Just
so
so you know.
I'll say that that one of the groups is taken out. Which one is up to you? Do you want the one with the pistols or the one with melee weapons?
The one with pistols.
Okay, so this group to the left is dead. Well, not really.
Okay.
Like I would say, probably like unconscious, more or less.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I'm not going to move them, but they hit these guys, and I'll say they knock these guys over. So they are. Where are they? They fall over. Okay. So one of those groups is wiped out by a masterful show of earthbending. Is there anything else? Or probably people bending, but anyway, what are you? Is that your whole turn, or is that just your action?
No, that's it.
Okay. So,
I'm going to prepare an aim.
okay.
I prep an aim maneuver.
Right. So, next PC. So that would be Mel, Jackal, or Arthur.
I'll go.
Okay, I don't hear any objections, so Jackal.
I think we all know what the maneuver is going to be.
Oh shit.
I will jump up onto the bar and make a grab for the blaster rifle.
Oh no.
And here I am thinking we were gonna try not to start a firefight, but apparently not.
We
There's
didn't
already stuff
start it.
being thrown.
And we didn't technically start it.
We didn't start the fire. That's right.
Actually, you did.
No. Let's get it right. A name was mentioned. These guys started looking at us. All I did was had a pistol there to intimidate, and it was going to go away once we had that information. But they perked up their ears because they heard something. So technically, it's on them.
Yeah, but they didn't attack you first. So, but whatever.
They
So,
have knuckles and a
Zero.
blaster. That's enough.
yeah, but you have guns. What's your point? So, anyway, but so
We have a
Jackal.
Hulk.
So Jackal jumps up with a maneuver, grabs the. I would say actually probably. I mean, getting the blaster itself is a maneuver, but probably getting up onto the table is a maneuver, like climbing up. So the question is, do you want to take 2 strain for that second maneuver, or are you going to downgrade your action to a maneuver?
I will take 2 strain.
Okay, take 2 strain, and then now you can shoot in the same turn.
Yes, indeed. Sadly, I don't get to true aim this turn. However, I'm shooting at a group of what?
Where you
Shady
guys?
people in basic
Yeah,
clothing.
pretty much.
All right. Should I move my token like up onto the bar?
Yeah, go for it.
Awesome. And these are the ones with blasters, right?
No, the ones with blasters are unconscious. These guys were.
Wonderful. And
So
these
these guys are
guys are on the
prone,
floor?
and these guys are standing.
Awesome. I'm shooting at the last healthy ones.
So, um,
I do not have the weapon for blaster
oh,
rifle on hand at
okay.
the
Well,
moment.
you can drag it onto your sheet, I think.
Yeah, let me do that real quick.
Blaster.
Sorry, Marty, I had to do it.
Yeah, blaster rifles there. Oh god, what?
Is that the one that says puny god or something?
It's in reference to it, but basically after it says we have a Hulk, it's just smash, 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 smash.
Okay. Blaster rifle. Ah, 3 ranks in ranged heavy is a
I'm
beautiful
such in a perky
thing.
mood.
Difficulty what now?
Short. So the one purple.
Oh, these poor people.
Oh god. At least you
I
acknowledge
crit.
you're gonna
Yep.
absolutely murder these.
So now, are you shooting?
Jesus
Are you
Christ.
shooting to kill or shooting on stun?
I'm gonna say stun.
Okay. So let's see. So 11 damage. These guys have. Let's see. So I think, what is that? 11 minus. Oh Jesus, math. Okay. So they take that, and then so one guy from like takes like one guy is immediately out from the stun, and then another one takes let's see. How the fuck do I do this? For the automatic crit, that would be 7 plus that. I think that would right. Okay, so you two of them are out from stun. And I would say seeing stun blast, like between the stun blast and the using the force to throw people into other people, knocking over a bunch of drinks, making like crashing noises and stuff, that is going to scare the piss out of the patrons of the bar. So now you've got a bunch of people like running around screaming. So now anybody else who's making any other attacks is going to get a setback. Though actually, speaking of setbacks, I think Jackal, you should have rolled one, right? Because you.
Oh, that is true.
So just do me a favor, roll a setback right quick.
All right.
Okay, so you actually do not crit.
Oh, don't crit. I will
So
recover 2 strain though.
okay, so let's see. So these guys. So in that case, only one minion has gone down.
Feels bad.
Still, I mean, all right. So that was Jackal. Next, we've got either Mel or Artur. So who would like to go?
I'd like to go last.
Okay, so Mel.
Okay. All right. Um, I guess I have no choice but to do this. So yeah, I'll pull out the hand blaster and I will set it to stun. I will clarify how I'll say this now, and I'll take a shot at this or actually I'll take a shot at the other group.
Okay.
Just see if I can stun one of them so we have less people coming for us.
All right. So don't forget any sort of boost. Like I know your pistol by itself has a boost, and then I think you have the electronic sighting system. Let me just double check your stuff. Uh, let's see, electronic sighting system. Yes, that
I
gives you lets you
do
aim as
indeed.
an incidental in short range. So yeah, you basically get 2 boosts. You get a third if
Nice.
you aim as well, like if you do like a regular aim.
If I have enough actions, then
Yeah, so
yeah, I
basically you
will.
could like aim and fire with a maneuver and an action. Um, so you would get a total of 3 boosts.
Cool. I will do that. And then any setbacks from?
Yes, there is a setback because now you've got a bunch of people panicking and running all over the place.
Great. Okay, that's everything. Let's. Oh, I forgot to target. It was
No,
this
that's fine.
people, this group.
I get it. So, 9 damage. Let's see, minus their soak. Um, uh, you don't down another one, but one of them is looking pretty, like having trouble staying on his feet. I'm talking like on the brink, like just barely keep like staying afloat. 2 advantages. What would you like to do with those?
I'll pass a boost along to Arthur because he's up
Okay,
next.
so well, you could pass
Or
2
so.
boosts to him if you want, because he's the
Yep.
last PC. So okay,
Yep,
so
I can do that.
Oh
so that's
boy.
your so Arthur. Now it's your turn.
Have fun with
All
that, man.
right. Whatever I'm
Light
about
him
to
up.
do, I'm about to do the fuck out of it.
Yeah. So,
I don't suppose there's a stun setting on lightsabers,
no.
huh?
Now there are like stun emitters you can get, but by default it's not like a blaster where there are stun settings.
Hmm. Well, I guess technically, like removing a hand is non-lethal.
That's disabling.
You are really making use of that technically, huh?
Oh my god.
I mean, I'd rather
I
lose a hand than die.
True.
Because you're not the one losing the hand.
True.
Well, I'd rather not lose a hand than lose a hand, and I don't intend to lose a hand.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna make someone else do that.
Okay, so you're gonna have to move into engaged range with maneuver. Which group are you moving to engage with?
Uh, what's left of the blaster group?
The blaster group, they are unconscious and effectively out of the fight because basically
Okay.
they got flung into these guys, and these guys are currently on the ground because they just got like bodied by bodies. Um,
They got pretzeled.
pretty much.
So these guys are thoroughly alive, though.
Well, these guys, like despite it saying there are 3 minions, well, the group has 3, but only 2 of them are standing, and one of them looks like he's like about to drop.
Okay. Is it like a special called shot to
I would say so.
remove some? Okay.
If you want to chop
All
hands,
right.
that would be a called shot, which is 2 setbacks.
Oh boy. Alrighty.
Now remember with your
Impromptu hand
lightsaber,
circumcision.
that because it is a double-bladed saber, it has unwieldy 3, which basically means that your difficulty is going to, instead of being average, it's going to be hard. So it's 1 extra purple.
Okay. So that's
So
3 purples.
3 purples, your difficulty with 2 blacks, 2 setbacks. So you move
Okay.
into
And 2
engage.
boosts, right?
Yes, 2 boosts.
Okay. All right. See how this goes.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Oh
So,
my god.
oh boy.
Let me lend you a hand here, buddy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So let's
Holy
see.
shit.
Your lightsaber, because just so you know, try to roll with your actual lightsaber. So your lightsaber has uh linked 1, which basically means that you could trigger a second hit with the same damage you did. So let's see. So you get 4 successes. Your damage is 6. So you did 10 damage because you completely cleaved through their soak. Um, if you want, you can say that neutralizes them because that would actually throw them over capacity.
Maybe we can say that I got both their hands.
Yeah, like you got both their hands, and then they like somehow just get knocked in the fight if that's what you want to do.
Could just be like they pass out out of like shock
Yeah,
or something.
pretty much.
They got Dooku'd.
They got
Yeah.
disarmed.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with that
Okay, so
assumption.
All right, so they are out. Um, so that
Guess you could
is
say they were disarmed.
yeah, I said that earlier. So that
Oh,
is uh that was your turn. Well, actually, do you want to take a second maneuver for to strain, or are you fine with what you did?
I think my work here is completed for now.
Yeah. So these this group is going to get up uh with a maneuver, and then they are going to uh well, actually, can minions? I mean, I know they don't take strain, but can they take second maneuvers if they take wounds?
Yeah, they can take strain. They just take wounds.
Yeah, so they take two. So they take a second maneuver, but they take two wounds in the process. Maybe like stumbling or like they're still wounded from getting hit, and they're going to go in and engage with pot shot and try to pummel you. Um, so they're going to target you. Then let's see, press knuckles, gauge. I don't think you have any defense active, so they're going to hit. Oh wow! Oh my god!
What did
Um,
they do?
they got 3 successes and a triumph.
What's the
So
damage?
the damage is 5 minus your soak.
Well, that's just 2.
Okay, so you take 2 wounds. Um, for the triumph, I would say maybe they knock you prone.
With the guy on me? Sheesh.
Yeah, they knock you
Well,
prone. Like I know there isn't technically a knockdown, but I mean it's a triumph, so um, and
Yeah,
like
there is.
what?
There is
There's what?
a knockdown.
Well, I know there's a knockdown quality. I'm just saying these guys don't have it on their brass knuckles.
Oh, I see.
I'm just kind of bending the
yep,
rules a little bit to what makes sense
yep.
for the scene. Um,
Oh,
so that is what they're going to do. They're just going to knock you prone. Like they basically that like
Okay.
one of them swings a really good punch, hits you in the face, and you fall over backwards.
Yep.
Um,
Does
so
that actually make me lose grip on the guy who I've got as a buffer?
I would say so.
Shit. Okay.
So they basically like one of the guys kind of like grabs him, not necessarily in like, oh, they got like a free maneuver to take him kind of way, but um, well, actually, what I'm going to do, because that actually puts a better idea in my head, they are going to use that triumph to essentially disarm you of the guy. Because
Okay.
basically with the triumph, like so with advantages, you can like 2 advantages, perform an immediate free maneuver. Triumphs are basically all of the above. So they're going to
Mhm.
like grapple a hold of this guy. So now they've got him as their hostage.
Okay.
So you still take the damage. You are no longer
Yep.
like you're still standing, but
Okay.
you kind of lost your leverage. So and don't forget to take the 2 wounds because I don't see that updated on your token. There you go. Okay, top of the round.
All right. I'm going to shoot to stun.
Okay, you're going to be upgrading that once because there is a pseudo ally in potential harm's way. At least in terms of like, because I'm assuming you kind of want to keep the guy alive or like
Yep.
unharmed.
Yep.
Because you're so in that like in gameplay sense, I'm counting him as an allied character.
Mhm.
If you're shooting into engaged range with an ally, there's a risk you might hit him, so you're going to be upgrading that once.
Upgrade.
And your
That's
difficulty for shooting into engaged range, I believe, would be 2 for at least for a pistol.
okay. So what's the so
You're
how
looking
many?
at 1 red, 1 purple.
Okay. I'm gonna flip a light side point. I'm going to upgrade so that way I
So
can
that
at
gives
least
you a yellow.
ensure. Yep. So now I've got 2 yellows, 2 greens. Okay, rolling. Oh, I didn't target who I'm shooting
That's
at,
fine.
but that's
Okay,
fine.
so you got 1 advantage. You can spend that to either recover a point of strain or pass a boost to the next ally who goes.
I've only got one strain, so I'll pass the boost over to the next person. But in total is
10 damage, so they
10.
take a specified amount. So your shot does not hit the guy, but it does hit one of the thugs and stuns him, knocks him out. He falls over, like back hits a table, flops over. So one of these guys is down. Okay, next PC. So actually, no, never mind. I was gonna say you should have rolled a setback, but that wouldn't really have.
I can.
Yeah, because the problem is you're shooting. Like I said before, there are people like I always forget about like environmental
Do
sort of
you want
modifiers.
me to put in a set? Do you want me
Yes,
to just throw in
please.
a
Just
setback
roll in a
myself?
setback because I just want to see that might reduce the damage. Oh, didn't do anything at all.
No.
Okay. It's just because, like I said before, there are people running around screaming, so you could have theoretically like hit a civilian or something.
Mhm.
Okay, but anyway, that's all good. So, and that only applies to the people who are shooting, just as an FYI. So now it's another player. So,
Can I pick them up and throw them against the wall?
um, yes, though, yeah, no, because this is now kind of a gray area. Because I mean, on one hand, you're using the force, so it's a more targeted thing, but at the same time, it's a ranged attack, and per game tradition, you kind of upgrade. You upgrade if there's like an ally engaged. Um, So I'm gonna go with my best judgment and say that you don't upgrade it. But
Well, I'm moving. I'm pulling them away
I,
from me.
I know. I'm just saying that you don't have to upgrade it in this case.
Okay.
But yes, you can use the force to pull them away.
Okay. 1, 2, 1. And silhouette of one is one.
Yeah, there's still one. Oh
Finally.
shit.
That's what I'm
Finally.
talking about.
I take one strain and add a one conflict. Um, and that is, well, activate, increase. Um, I can pick up one of them.
Okay, so you pick up one guy, and throw him. And I'll say that that would outright kill him. Or take him out of the initiative rather. So let's see. So,
Because that is 10, 13. Yeah, that's 13 damage.
okay, so that'll kill because you were lifting one. You kill one of them. Um, and also I didn't catch the advantages because I was responding to Emily heading out. What were you?
I'm going to recover some strain with
Yeah, good idea. I was thinking you would do that. Okay, so that is Trenimer. Okay, next PC. Which in this case would now be either Archer or Jackal.
Well, I can take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's all you.
Okay, so
All right.
if you're going to do that, just be
Do it.
aware that you're taking an upgrade because the guy is potentially at risk of being shot and also a setback because of all the people running around screaming.
All right. It's on stun, and
Okay.
I don't even know the guy. And true aim.
Okay.
Let's see. True aim. I have two ranks at this point. Gain the benefits of aiming and upgrade the combat check. And I forgot to add my boost. Wait, no boost on this. Right.
Yeah, because the sniper rifle.
Upgrade twice. And I upgrade difficulty once. And it's short, so it's
Short
easy.
range. Yeah, it's easy,
Difficulty
but
base.
it's basically you're going to be dealing with a red and a purple.
It's basically
or
one
not
red.
red and purple, a red and a black.
And a black.
Yeah, because of the environmental sort of circumstances.
Oh, and I don't have. Well, the brace maneuver wouldn't be worth it even if I did have it.
Yeah, because that's for like actual environment. This is more like a holy fuckamoly. Okay, so
Wow, that's a lot of blanks.
yeah, no shit. One advantage, you can recover restraint or passive boost to the next ally, your choice.
I'll just recover the strain.
Okay.
I feel like this is almost over.
Yeah, because 11 damage on stun to this guy, minus his soak, would be I think 7. So that would take him over capacity, so he's unconscious, and with that, combat is over.
All right.
So I mean, people are still like panicking stuff, but by this point, they've more or less kind of cleared out. Um, so the bar is mostly deserted, but you like people. It's not necessarily a safe spot, so might want to abandon ship.
Or get to the fucking ship.
Yeah, exactly. So, um, the guy, like the blonde guy, is like sort of like this. Like he's more like he's not entirely snapped out of his drunken state, but he definitely seems more like acute and aware of what's going on. It's kind of like wide-eyed and like sort of back to
Are
like.
we taking him?
Oh yeah, we're taking him all right.
All right, somebody else grab him.
Okay. I lift him up with the force and I carry him
Yeah.
with me.
If only it was like some
So,
sort of Scooby Doo thing where he's like crawling in midair trying to get away. I'm just kidding.
and while I'm doing that, is there a way that I can ask him his name?
I mean, yeah, you could just ask him.
Okay.
He
So we need to talk to you. And what is your name?
he says Taplow, Carrick Taplow.
Okay. Excellent. Then it is a good thing that we're getting you out of here. We need to have a conversation.
And he says as long as it doesn't involve doing to me what I think those guys were gonna do to me, then sure.
We'll deal. We'll talk about it when you're sober.
You just hear, oh shit. So, um, you make your way. I'll say you can make your way back to the Typhoon without incident. Um, you like you make your way back, and the clones that were on the ship, like they salute you and they sir, who who's this guy?
This man is
Information.
called Taplow, and he has information for us in our mission.
Um, very good, sir. And they and then Smolder and Backlash they kind of step out of the way. Um, and yeah, so you take him aboard the shuttle. Um, and what do you do next?
Um, I I put him in. Do we have a drunk tank on board?
No.
For clones that like drinking a little bit too much, maybe. I don't know.
It's called the janitor's closet, and you just make sure nothing in there is drinkable.
Well, anything is
Adrenaline takes
edible
out the bleach.
once.
The bleach.
Hey, you'll be surprised. Hand sanitizer can still get you drunk, but it'll make you sick.
Yeah, no shit. Anyway, uh, so I'll say we can fast forward to when he like I mean because again I've never had so much as a drop of alcohol before. I don't know how long it takes for people to sober back up, but we can cut the crap and cut to the
Uh,
chase.
you know what? Actually, hold on. I could probably do a medicine check to see if I can sober him
Yeah,
up
do a
quicker.
medicine check to see if you can like kind of uh like get him to come
Inject
to
something.
quicker. So I'm gonna say you're opposing his resilience, and his resilience
Uh-huh.
is 2 purple. Yeah, it's 2 purple for
Well,
you.
that's perfect.
So it's a 2 purple medicine check that you succeeded. Okay.
Success.
So I'll say you have like some sort of cocktail of like of military like stimulants that you like
Uh-huh.
inject him with, and that kind of snaps him back to his senses. And so he recovers within like a few minutes, and he's saying, "It's like, oh, what's going on? Where are we?"
You have information for us.
And he said,
Aurodium.
Hello. Hello.
and he says, the Aurodium. Well, I mean, um, if you, I mean, you rescued me, so I suppose I owe you that much. Ask away.
Potshot takes a step back and lets Tranum have a conversation with him, if he wants.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. And did you have a conversation? Do you remember who we were looking for?
He says, well, I mean, it depends on who you were looking for in the first place. I don't know.
Denaria.
It says, Denaria Key. Yeah, there was um, a separatist council member who sent Denaria to meet with me on his behalf. The guy's currently on the run from the Republic, um, and he said that yeah, there was a rumor that he found out that ultimately led back to me about like he looks around making sure like there's not any like sort of surveillance cameras or anything. He says there was it concerns a long lost vault of Aurodium, which is rumored to account for a quarter or more of all the known Aurodium in the galaxy. Um, I mean, all I say that I mean I only know about the existence of it, but not where it is.
Hmm.
And what he says next, well, do you say anything or do you let him keep talking?
I just let him keep talking. I
So
mean, he was going on just fine all by himself.
yeah. So what he says is, yeah, he's like, well, I mean, yeah, the source I learned it from knows way more than I do. And he refused to tell me more unless I did him a favor, and I haven't taken him up on that offer. And I'll give you that lead if you let me walk free.
Um, and who is this he we're talking
Well, before he says anything, I mean, like he says like, well, I mean, do we have a deal that you'll let me go if I tell you?
about?
Was that a
I see
yes?
no reason to. I see no reason to keep you prisoner. Um, other than all we wanted to do was talk to you.
So he says
There's
like,
other
well,
than that,
yeah, there's a guy, a hut on Nal Hutta named Yas, which is Yaas out of character. Uh, he's a like a hut businessman on Nal Hutta, and he told me about it. And he said he would tell me more, but only if I did a job for him, and I didn't take him up on that offer yet. So, um, if you want to find him and talk to him, he's on Nal Hutta, and by convenience, you guys would know that Nar Shaddaa, the moon you're on right now, that orbits Nal Hutta.
Hmm. Okay. So we need
I'm
to go
writing
ahead.
this down just so you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So that's all.
So well,
You
while
have
you're writing it
14.
down, what does everybody else do?
I'm sure Jackal's probably going ahead and say,
I'm
"Oh, you're
I'm
my new precious."
I am firstly putting this rifle onto the gun rack, and then I am going to find the nearest data pad and start looking at the price of Aurodium.
Well, at least it's not holo porn.
um, so what I'll
Would
Depends on how
we
say.
good the numbers
know?
are. It might not be much difference.
What's up?
Yeah. Would we know the what Aurodium is mostly used for?
So Aurodium
Mhm.
is an extraordinarily valuable, coveted metal. Like it's the Star Wars equivalent of gold. Which, speaking of going forward, if I use gold and Aurodium interchangeably, then yeah, um, the Aurodium is like I don't have an exact formula for it, but there is one Star Wars source that I think is Legends that basically says that like 10 what are considered large bars of Aurodium, which were basically small enough to carry, like small and light enough to carry on your person, 10 of those were 3 billion credits.
Sheesh.
So what you're talking about is a gargantuan amount of money.
Okay, and and they're not used for any other applicable type of thing. Like it can't be used for anything else but just
Yeah, it's
currency.
not used as like a means of constructing starships or something like that. Like sometimes it's used for like cosmetic effects, like just as a meta thing. Yeah, because your
Mhm.
characters wouldn't know this. Palpatine's lightsaber actually had, if memory serves, I think it was Palpatine's lightsaber that had traces of Aurodium in its like design.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like it's not like it's basically for all intents and purposes it's Star Wars' equivalent of gold.
Okay, that's fine. So,
Or even platinum. But in other words, it's super fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Way easier.
Money.
okay. So you don't
There's
know where.
so much money in this 1 pound of metal, you have no idea.
Yeah. So Potshot is just gonna listen to the conversation. And says, so pretty much you know they're looking for Aurodium, but don't know where it's at, and this person that Yas
Yeah, he's
has the
Not a person, he's a hut.
yeah. Yeah, Tablo
Just a
says
hut.
that Yas is a hut who
Yep.
basically let him know, like, Yas knows more about the Erodium, like the lead that Taplo just gave you. He knows more
Mhm.
about that than Taplo does, but he
Okay.
refused to give Taplo any more, like, intel on it.
All right.
But he did give you, like, a name of, like, the name of the hut that if you want to go
Yep.
talk to him yourself.
Yeah.
So
So
that would be
all
just the
pot.
hut, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
YASS.
What? No, YAAS.
Yas.
Yes, exactly.
No, Yas.
I know. Yeah. So
Yeah. So
I
I'm
couldn't
just
resist.
reiterating with him just to make sure that we've got everything right, and if satisfied, Potshot's like, "Yep, you're free to go."
oh, thank you, he says, and thank you again for saving me from those guys. And then after that, like he just fucking books it, like out of the ship, just to get
Did
away
we
from
ever ask he why they were after him in the first place?
who the gangsters.
Yeah.
We can
You did
quickly
not.
ask that question just as he goes.
Yeah, like I'll say this much before he takes off and flees. You can ask them that, and
Yeah.
um, he's saying that like, well, I don't think they probably weren't after me specifically, but if I mentioned I mean if I wound up mentioning Erodium, that probably caught their attention, and it's Nar Shaddaa. Everybody's looking for a chance to make a quick credit.
Hmm. No wonder
Fair point.
that person doesn't. I was thinking this Aurodium was a race, not as an actual mineral. No wonder I didn't get the information I'm looking for. Duh. um. Okay. So Jackal's looking up info about the Aurodium. I probably would turn and see what's the basic info, like what's the general information we have on um
The hut,
this Yas person.
yeah. Well, again, hut, but um, Republic, like aboard your shuttle, you wouldn't have any kind of intel on them. Like that would be something you would have to do like extracurricular kind of research on.
I'd be more than happy to do that.
Okay. So that would probably be a knowledge outer rim, which is going to
Good thing
be
I've
in
got.
this case, I will say it is a daunting, which is 4 purple.
Oh, sheesh. Um. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna flip a point so I can get an upgrade
Okay.
because of how bad how this is gonna be.
Alrighty.
Oh yes.
Well,
Oh,
you
bad.
failed. Um, a
Can I say
triumph.
the triumph gives us a lead to maybe finding out more information?
Yeah, I was gonna say like you when you're searching like basically local kind of networks, you know, because you're in hut space right now. You're like in the heart of hut space. Um,
Yeah.
this guy either isn't well known as the other members of the Hut clan, or he's just that good at keeping a low profile.
Mm.
So you don't really get anything meaningful out of that, and then the threat. I mean, once again, just one threat. I'll say it's just strain because it's just really kind of
Yeah, I was
frustrating.
about to say the stress of it.
So yeah, the stress of the whole thing. The triumph. You um, let's see. Well,
Can we say that this leads us maybe going ahead? I have a feeling it's going to lead us to someone else that we have to probably get information from, or we have. Uh,
well, currently your
could this?
only lead is the one that Taplo gave you about Yas the Hut, like where he is, or like well
Yeah.
that he's on Nalhutta, and that you could go find him there.
Uh, I was just wondering, could we possibly like? I'm not sure if this is going to be applicable, but that we that if Yas is related to someone that we can go ahead and just pop them on Comlink and say, hey, we just want to know more information about Yas.
Um, I would say, um, I'll say this with a triumph. Like you don't really get any information on Yas himself,
Hmm.
but you will know what sort of sector of Nalhutta he operates in.
That works.
Like not precise coordinates, but like this sort of
Uh,
district in this settlement kind of deal.
yeah, a region that we can at least focus on.
Exactly. So
That
you're not
works.
searching the entire planet, you're searching like a town.
Cool.
So
Yes. No, Nalhada is controlled by the huts, and each hut has a little territory.
yeah. So you know
Let's just
which
hope it's not
territory he's
related
operating in.
to whatever his name is, that freaking hut
Jabba?
from Jabba.
Well,
Yeah, let's just hope it's
Jabba
not
operates on Tatooine.
yeah, but it's not like he's like a sibling or a cousin to Jabba the Hutt. As long as we know that much.
Well, again, you don't.
I know.
So, like, all you know is that he's a hut and he's operating on Nalhutta, and courtesy of your triumph, you know where on Nalhutta.
Yeah.
Perfect. I need a short break.
Okay.
Bathroom. Right back.
Cool, cool.
All right. So,
I'm gonna do the same.
okay, yeah, I guess we can take like a 5 minute break if you guys want. Well, I did say at 9:32 we broke at 9:27. Now it's
Yeah.
9:37, so I think we're gonna just um get back to playing. And if he drops back in, then that's totally fine. Okay, so yeah, just to recap.
Hmm.
So you guys obviously you just found the lead to Yas the Hut. Um, and we're speaking. I don't know how authentic of a hut name that sounds, but I've heard them kind of dance around, and I don't know. That was the first one that entered my head, so just ride with me here. So you have the lead to the hut, um, or at least which sort of settlement he's operating in. So
Yeah.
now we go back to what we were discussing in like the intermission of, are you guys going to report what you found to Captain Cavanaugh, or are you just going to go off on your own and investigate this personally?
No, we're going to keep investigating because we don't really have anything to say back yet.
Mm.
Okay. So
That's my
Yeah.
that is Trevor's position.
Eh.
We could let them know that we have a lead, but I doubt that they would just be like, "Oh, you have a lead. All right, job's done. Go home."
Mm. The thing is, we could turn around and say, look, we have a lead, but we need to go ahead and ensure that this is a lead that is authentic. Otherwise, it's
And
just
we're-
going to waste our time if we just turn and say, "Yep, we've got a lead," and we'll just pass it on. It's either we source it out and then go ahead and say, "Come back and go, look, found the lead. This is where it's leading us to, and now we know for sure that it is whatever the situation is, bad or good."
we're in the
But I
neighborhood
don't.
anyway.
Exactly. We're nearby. We can do it ourselves.
So,
Hmm.
well, it
Besides,
sounds
we
like you
got
guys
two
are.
other clones with us that might go ahead and turn and say, I think like, oh no, they'll probably, yeah, they'll respect
Yeah,
whatever
It's
we do
I'm
anyway.
just gonna flat out say as
flammable.
NPCs, I mean that they're just like I'm not gonna make things complicated by having like backup PCs turn against you.
Mm.
Like basically whatever you guys because pretty much every but like let's see, Potshot, Jackal or no Potshot, Lunchbox, Trenimer, and Artur all outrank the NPCs. So
True.
basically, if the four of you, and especially Trenimer, if you guys give them an order, then they're gonna follow it.
Cool.
So
All right. So we don't need to worry about them anyway.
yeah. So we'll just for simplicity's sake, we'll say that, I mean whatever choice you guys make, they're on board.
Okay.
But yeah, so the choice, it
Yeah.
sounds like everybody is wanting to just go straight to Nalhutta
Hello?
and investigate. Oh, hi.
Hey, we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Either
Yes.
report back what we found, or and reveal little or all of it, or just go straight to Nahada and follow the lead.
Yeah, because so far it sounds like everybody's in favor of the latter, but I mean, obviously all PC's input
I
is
like
important.
gold.
Okay, sounds like we're going straight to Nalhada.
I'm just saying. I get to practice my shots either way, and one
Okay.
way pays a lot more.
When did Jackal become Alcus?
No, more important question is when did he become the leprechaun for the leprechaun movies? I want me gold! um,
Me gold!
so, anyway, you guys, I'm assuming somebody gives coordinates to Lunchbox to go to Nalhada.
Yep.
So, yeah, he is saying, "Oh, copy that. Everybody, get seated. We're taking off." Um, and
And
the
fly casually.
yeah, the Typhoon ascends and travels to Nalhutta. There's a like a Lucas wipe of the Typhoon entering Nalhutta's atmosphere. I will open up the next little mood mood backdrop thing. Let's see.
Mhm.
Activate. Yeah, so basically this is just kind of the general aesthetic of Nalhutta. It's like a very polluted, dark, swampy sort of planet. Um, I don't have a town name for where the hut is operating, but basically you touch down in that town. And the question I have for everybody, once again, is now: are you going to be donning your Republic apparel, or are you going to still stay in the disguises that you were using on Nar
Is this
Shaddaa?
from the
If this
Clone
is a
Wars?
hut planet, I'm gonna keep my concealing robe.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
I think it's from the Clone Wars.
However, I don't think it's unreasonable to carry a hunting rifle.
Yeah.
No, there is no reason for you to not carry a hunting rifle.
Plenty of dangerous wildlife.
You see these
Actually, yes, there
Gamorreans and
is.
he just starts shooting. I'm just And that's the story of how Jackal turned out to be Simmons' apprentice, not Tarkin. I mean, they are both snipers, but anyway, in all seriousness, so you disembark into this very humid, very smelly, very stuffy atmosphere. Uh, so the question begs now, what is your next course of action? Because you currently, kind of like with when you landed on Nar Shaddaa, you don't have the slightest fucking clue what you're looking for. Well, you know what you're looking for, but you don't know where to start in finding it.
Mm.
True, but we need to. I think we need to talk first to Yas the Hut.
I know, but I'm saying you need to find him.
Okay,
So
so
I would say
we
that's another streetwise.
hold on,
But
hold on. So when we touch down, is there like a like not a harbor master, but a starport master?
like a shipyard technician kind of thing. Like
No,
kind of
not
like
a
the
technician, but a shipyard administrator. Ish.
probably. Well, I don't know. I mean, with Nalhada being like a rural kind of criminal planet, um, yeah, just to simplify things, keep things going. Yeah, sure. Somebody like that. I mean, there's got to be somebody to take your credits. Um,
Mm.
Exactly my point.
so
So, um, can I ask him?
yeah.
Okay. So streetwise, you said?
Yeah, that will be streetwise. I'll say average with a boost.
Okay.
If anybody would like to do like a combined check or whatever to help Trenimer, you can.
Please do,
Mm.
because my rolling tonight isn't really hot.
Except when it comes to throwing
Because you're
people
not.
around. But
It's because.
I have no idea what you just said.
I said unless you're throwing people around, which you succeeded at with flying colors. Get it?
Hold on, what's your street rise? 2 green, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Same with
3
me.
green.
Okay, 3 green. So maybe Arthur could be assisting. Well, actually, and also Jackal. What's yours for streetwise?
What's my what now?
What is your streetwise?
My streetwise is. Why can't I? Okay, it's up here. 3 green.
Okay, so because Arthur proposed to help first, I'm gonna say you get you get an extra green from him, like an extra, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So
So
It's
three
me,
greens and a
baby.
blue.
yes, okay. Um, the threat I'll say is strain, and here is why. Because I would say maybe from your character standpoint that you're asking about like a crime boss on his turf, and you don't want to necessarily end up with like broken kneecaps from a bunch of thugs going, we hear you're talking about the boss don't like it kind of deal. Um,
Right.
so the strain basically comes from nervousness about that happening, but you do succeed, and uh, the showman's like, oh yes, you can find him at his palace over, and yeah, yeah, yeah. And he gives them he gives you directions
Hmm.
to a palace. Um, I
Is it
don't
that big rock thing in
I
the
have
distance?
no fucking idea what that is, but we'll say sure. Uh, Even though I'm imagining it more something like Jabba's palace, but
Yeah.
like basically it's whatever your imagination wants it to be, honestly. But the point is, it's like a it's like hut architecture sort of palace. So the guy, the shipyard, like the overseer dude, the Trenimer was talking to, he gives you that direction.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm assuming you go straight there unless there's something else you want to do in the meantime.
No, I think we're gonna go straight there. I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
So,
Mm.
um, yeah, you get that direction. You go to the palace. Let me just check something. Uh, um, so, when you make it to the palace, like the front gates, there are some Gamorreans there with like like vibro axes, and then well, the vibro axe is maybe like a weak way or something, like some sort of like Nikto, like any of those kind of
Mm-hmm.
like spiky guys that you often see in the company of huts, like the Gamorreans. So they basically cross their axes in front of the door, so they block the door, and then the other guy who's there, like the third guy, is saying like, hold on, what are you doing here? Do you have a meeting with the boss? Do you have a meeting with his Majesty Yas the Hutt?
God, it would be so tempting to uh, to reach for his throat and go, "Yes, I do."
um, is there anything we can do to maybe try to persuade these guys without actually trying to persuade them?
Well, you've got a couple different options for social. If you want to just be nice and honest and straightforward, that's charm. If you want to lie to him, that's obviously deception. And if you're going to threaten him, either verbally or with like threat of violence, then that's coercion. So basically, straight talk, be
Not always
friendly,
seduced.
lie. What?
Deuce.
I'm
Oh my
sorry.
god! Oh my god!
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I know,
What?
but
I,
Is there anything I could do, like knowledge-wise, to be able to go ahead and actually, knowing like the kind of shady deals that these guys do, that there's some way we can say, no, we don't have an appointment, but we would like to go ahead and speak to him about an important matter.
um, I would still say that
oh,
would be uh a charm roll to just try to like negotiate with him.
Yeah. Yeah, my charm is 2 because I am not good with
Yeah, you
presents. I'm
guys
a
are
very
kind of
smart person.
lacking all across the board with social skills. I had noticed that when you guys were.
so, maybe I could do. Maybe I could, you know, tell them you will take us
Now,
to
when you say
Yastahat.
that, are you doing that of the coercion type or of like a force trick?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I would do that as a coercion. So
Um,
I think
okay, I would
medium,
Good.
but
say. Hold on.
Actually, could we go ahead and show that we're not well armed, but we're showing that kind of
I mean, they're
intimidation where
they're all armed too, so that's not really gonna.
no,
I'm an expert in disarming.
we have business with Yastahat, and you will take us to see him.
Okay, that would be a coercion roll. This guy's willpower. Hold on, I gotta find uh, decent stat pool to use. Because I didn't, expect to have this guy. So, let's say his, yeah, I'll say discipline would be 3 purple.
Okay.
oh my
Oh
lord.
boy, that's a roll. Let me check Og dudes to
Ooh.
see what like a sufficient amount of threats could be. Because I'd rather just check that than look at the fucking book. So coercion threats. Uh, so what I'll do, because the default effects of threats on coercion checks just suck. I'm gonna say it's like a pseudo despair effect, kind of like like a pseudo triumph for a bunch of advantages. Um, that you whether I mean you as a player want to or not, you're going to say like reveal something about your intent uh to these guys. So I will let
Yeah,
you.
the intent is to do a job for Yas so that we can find this stack of Aurodium.
So um
That's the business we have with him.
okay, well I'm just saying like you said you had business with him, but I'm saying like the threats you reveal a little more than you wanted to.
Yeah.
So the guy mentions that but you still succeed, so he does like the gatekeeper says something to the fucking Gamorreans, and they raise their axes. The guy says follow me, and um he leads you through this like pretty dark uh like curved
Mm-hmm.
tunnel, and after a couple of minutes leads you into the throne room of standard sort of girthy green hued hut. uh
Mm.
who, like it has like a translator droid, a couple of like, servants in the room, guards, like, some scantily clad females. The guy who enters, like basically everybody, like they stop kind of doing what they're doing and they sort of focus intently on the people who just entered the room. uh, the guy who was escorting you basically is saying, now the question is, do you all speak Huttese, or do some of you speak Huttese?
I do not.
Ooh. Where do I know about my languages?
I would say, because there's no like actual language skill, I'll say this much. Um, I see that in the chat. I would say for your language, probably maybe like, so you all know basic. For
Mhm.
every point of int, like an additional language. So like for example, if you have one int, then obviously just basic. If you have two int, basic and one other language of your choice. If you have three int, then that's three languages. That sort of thing. So
Okay, so I have I know four. Apart from common, I have four int.
okay.
So what? Let's just say
Is there a place to like note down languages right now?
Um,
probably in the
prob
biography would
yeah, I would
be.
say, yeah, when in doubt, I would say the biography. Um,
Yeah.
that's where I wrote things like I
I
noted.
I'll say that I might I know Huttonese just
Okay,
to
Huttese.
because the amount of int I have.
Yeah. So
Did you say? Did you just? Okay. Huttonese? Is that what you said?
Huttonese. Huttonese.
anyway, but you do like
Mm-hmm.
basically the guy is saying like, Lord Yas, I have there are these individuals seek an audience with you. Uh, they say they have business to discuss with you, and just to recap before I say the next part, and Trenimer, you did let slip about about the Aurodium, yes?
Um,
Like, was that in
well,
or out
it's
of
a
character?
threat, so that depends on you. But what I wanted to let slip was that we would like to work. Well, we wouldn't like to, but um, we've got business with him because he needs something. He needs a job done.
Okay. Um, well, yeah. So I'll say, yeah. So the guy is saying, like, my lord, these people, they sort of strong-armed me and like, brought me like blah 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 blah. They want like they seek an audience with you. They say they have business with you, and you know, like he just introduced them in Huddies, and then uh, the hut, uh, he his head sort of pans over to you, and he says in Huttese, is that so? Do you actually like you do have business with me? I do not recognize any of you. He says, like he also points out the fact, yeah, well whenever he's done talking, basically his protocol droid translates everything. But he's basically saying like, I don't recognize any of you, which means that, I wouldn't have summoned you for a job. So he says, I reckon you have some explaining to do. And then, his protocol droid basically parrots all of what he said, but just in basic for everybody else who
Mhm.
doesn't speak Hadese.
Potshot will play pipe up and go. Uh, no, you didn't summon us, but we did caught word of your request to have someone do a job for you, and we thought to offer our assistance.
And he says, you know, uh, well, just recall, you said you caught wind of a job that he wanted to do. I was kind of sidetracked because I was checking my
Yes.
notes. Okay, well, you say that, and he says like, well, that's funny because I don't recall putting out an open call for a job. It was somewhat of a sensitive
And
matter,
I
which
never
means you.
said how I caught wind of this. I'm just saying we heard.
Yeah, well,
Never said
he's well
how we
then well
heard.
then he's basically saying like, okay, well then where did you hear it from? Because it's not like something that he openly advertised.
We had a word with a gentleman called Taplow, who mentioned that you needed something done.
And he says, oh, so Taplow told you, huh? So he says, well, I mean, uh, I would ask that I know whom I am speaking with before I agree to any, like, before I, agree to hire anybody. Because he says, like, in my town, we operate on, well, no, he wouldn't say operate on trust because they're huts. That basically like, he's saying like if I'm going to hire somebody, I at least want to know who they are and if I can trust them, not necessarily if you can trust me. Like that's sort of the expectation he has. Like you can kind of tell from what he says as he's talking. But basically, yeah, the
Right.
point is he asks like, who are you guys and where are you from? Like basic kind of simple introduction questions.
Now, out of character, do we want to give this guy fake names, or do we want to say who we are?
I feel like fake names are the best option.
Okay. Um,
Go ahead.
Hotshot will say to Yas, saying, "People call me Cece," and I'll just say how it's spelled.
Okay. So you give him that, and then um, he says, the job I want is like in terms of I'm thinking as a player because I'm trying to follow the sequence of what I had in mind. So he basically says like, well, I mean, if Taplo told you, then I'm guessing he probably would have told you something else. Is there anything uh that you'd like to tell me?
Well, we know that you're wanting to acquire some very valuable minerals.
So his eyes narrow and he says, so you know.
Hmm. Yes.
So he says, so I'm assuming with that you want the intel on that.
Well, we wouldn't be here if we weren't offering our services.
He says, so uh, if that's what you're after, then I'll say this: the price for such valuable intel is 100,000 credits. But if you can't pay that, then if you really want, the lead, then you're going to do a job for me first. Um,
Hey,
what's up?
t- b- so before I start trying to think about getting in on this dialogue, I did pose a question in chat. I assume you didn't see it. You're in the middle of a dialogue, which is
Oh, and
understandable.
I didn't even have the right fucking tab open. I had the character sheet. Let's see.
Ah,
Oh yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. So I see. Choose Huddies as your second language. Yeah, no, you can choose that now. Um,
Mm.
sorry I didn't
okay,
answer it sooner because like I said, I didn't see a chat notification in Foundry, and I was looking at the
understandable.
character tab, and I was mainly, if anything, I wasn't even tabbing into Foundry. I was looking at my notes. Um,
Then,
but anyway,
at this
so
point,
Hello,
I would
cartoon.
chime in from kind of. I imagine I'm kind of in the back of the party.
yeah.
I'm gonna chime in, kind of pull the hood down from my robes with like
Oh
my
shit.
my. I have the rifle sticking up on my back, and I'm going to say in Huddies, give us the job. We're good for it.
So he does like the Hut laugh, and he says, I applaud your confidence. Um, and he says like, very well. The job, like, so basically what he explains is, um, he ordered a shipment of spice from the Pike Syndicate on Obadiah, um, but he was double crossed, and the Pikes won't give him what they owe him. And he says that, if you recover that spice for me, I'll consider the 100K paid, and I will give you the information you seek.
Could I roll streetwise to understand if spice is slang for something?
Yeah, I would say it would probably be an easy 1 purple streetwise.
Okay. I don't have the roles thing open where it says like combat checks or general checks. I don't have that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just realized it actually has disappeared on my end.
That's probably because you got disconnected.
yeah, refresh the page. I had that problem last night.
Oh.
I'll make
Uh,
the roll real quick first though, because
okay.
I know my ability.
No, you can't because you're disconnected.
Yeah, refresh the page. Just
I know the dice, and I can click the roll button in the
Oh.
chat window.
no.
It's just one difficulty.
Yeah, 1 purple and then
All right,
whatever you're.
I have 3 greens.
Okay. So we'll see if that rolls properly.
Did that go through?
Nope.
No, because
All
you're
right, then yeah.
disconnected.
Okay, I see.
Oh, that's weird. The thing still didn't pop up,
Um, that is.
and I refreshed.
I mean, Marty and Blitzer, you guys having the same problem, or?
I had earlier, but let's see.
Let me test.
Okay, well I see
No?
Archer's fine.
Yeah, no, like that. Yeah, I don't know why. For some reason, it's not showing up for me. Like, I've got my character sheet up, but I don't have that whole thing, the little drop down that gives you all the options to click.
Weird. Because we have
Yeah,
2 people who can roll just fine, and then 2 people who can't. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, just to keep things
and it's
moving
the
a little
two
bit.
who know how to sneeze, of course.
I'll just
Oh,
so we're
dang.
not getting hung up with this. I'll just roll for you, Jackal.
Yeah, it's 3
Yep, yep.
green,
Okay.
1 purple.
3 green. Okay, streetwise is there. 3 green, and then 1 purple, and we'll see if you know that because the intent was about spice. Okay, so 4 successes. So um, you do
Yeah, I still
know
don't have the rolls
what
available
the
after rolling.
hell. That is peculiar. Is there anything I need to do, or?
Mm.
Oh,
Um, hmm. So, uh, well, anyway, so at least for the RP sense of it, so Jackal, well, you're in Foundry, right? And it loaded.
Yep,
Okay.
I'm in Foundry. I have my sheet open. I
Okay.
can see the map. I can see the chat.
Okay. Well, all right. So at least that works. But so basically, spice, honestly, is like the sort of like brown powdery shit that is often mentioned uh in Star Wars, that like a very commonplace drug. I think spice is just its actual name at face value. Like it's not like a street name for it, but I
Got
could
it.
be
The
mistaken.
spice is the same kind of word for drugs as slicing is to hacking.
Exactly.
Spices is drugs.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Potshot would know automatically what spice is because the amount of medicine knowledge behind it. So it's like, yeah, I know what this is.
Yeah,
Got
fair
it.
enough. So, but
I
you,
just didn't want to make assumptions, and I figured an in-character roll
yeah,
was
no,
best.
yeah, fair enough. But rest assured that spice is just sort of like a sort of the just generic Star Wars drug, like fantasy-ish
Got it.
shit. But basically, he describes Yas as like, yeah, it's very like I ordered, had like a pretty hefty shipment, and that I was owed from the Pikes, and now they decided to keep it like they took his money, like basically they took his money, and they're holding the spice, and he's pissed, and he wants his spice, and he's basically saying like, if you guys get all of it for me, then that is equivalent to the 100K, and I'll give you the intel. And so
What's the lead?
what?
No lead
Where do we
before we do
go?
the job.
So, well, he says, oh, but what he'll tell you is, um, the like he doesn't know where the spice itself is being held, but he does know who the Pike leader is. So basically, if you find that guy, you can get him to tell you. The Pike leader is Marx Toisto, which I will post his name in the Aurodium Rush chat in Discord.
Cool.
Um,
And in response, Hotshot will say, Are we to leave no people alive, or are you wanting to send a message on your behalf?
Um, he says, like as it stands right now, like Toy Stow would probably be more useful alive. Yeah, because then he can kind of keep the like the sort of the drug trade flowing, but also like leaves Yas with an opening to potentially like imprison him or hold him hostage or something. Like he actually, well, as he's talking, says like, you know what? Um, if you get what he like, if you, I mean, the base sort of reward is getting the spice. However, if you also bring in Toy Stow, then I'll give you a bonus. Like if you bring him in alive, because then I could potentially leverage him off to the pikes. So he says like if you do that, then you'll get a bonus, and we can discuss that further.
Okay.
Though it does warn
So
you
we get
that Toy Stow is
It's in the
paranoid.
group notes.
Okay, he says that Toy Stow is paranoid, dangerous, and a thorough individual who covers his tracks and keeps to the shadows.
Paranoid, dangerous, covers his tracks, and
Yep.
keeps to the shadows. All right, I got most of that
Yep.
info in group notes.
Okay.
Cool. Potshot player looks to the rest and gives that look, going, "Anything else you want to ask him?"
Um, I'll take that as
Nope.
a no out of character, but
I don't. No, I think we're good at this point.
I do believe we have work to do.
yeah. So
Yep. We'll just sort of go ahead and say, "We'll get it done," and we'll back away without turning my back towards Yas as we leave, as everyone leaves.
yeah, well, I mean, he says, in typical like demanding hut fashion, like don't keep me waiting too long, and then like and nobody tries to like pull any, like none of the people in the palace try to pull any shit, like drawing weapons on you or activating any traps or whatever. So like you basically are able to just like walk out unmolested. Um, so
Cool.
uh, the question I have now for the group is, I know we've got approximately another hour. Do you think this is a natural stopping point, or do you guys want to keep going?
I could
I
use a
feel like
short
this
break.
is reasonable.
Reasonable to keep going or to pause?
I feel like this is a reasonable stopping point if we wanted to
Okay.
stop. Yeah.
Dax and Blitz, what do you think?
I'm
I'm
thinking the
fine either
same.
way.
I'm thinking the same thing. This is a good point to maybe stop at. That way, everyone else, like Alan and Mel, can be able to come back
Yeah,
and
that's a good point
be
because
in
I
the
don't.
same page as
Yeah,
all of us.
Yep.
because I don't want to progress too far and then have them go like, wait, what the fuck's been going on? Um,
We've gotten the
Mm.
job, and it's time to start it.
yep. And thus the gold rush begins. Okay, so or the Aurodium rush, if you will. Okay, so I'll say everybody gets 20 XP. Well, I'm just gonna probably just honestly start
Woohoo.
following Red's example and just give everybody a flat 20.
Okay.
Or we'll see how that sticks. So yeah, everybody gets 20 XP. Because Emily participated, even though she wasn't able to make it, I will add that 20 to her sheets. Let's see. So she has 55 and 305. Okay, so you got that. Um, okay,
Interesting.
so is there anything anybody else wishes to bring up or discuss, or any feedback or anything like that?
No,
No.
actually, I just noticed on my character sheet. I know in the character generator there's the skill for cybernetics, but I noticed that it's not in the actual character sheet on Foundry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it isn't. That's weird.
Yeah,
What?
There's no cybernetics skill.
cybernetics.
That's correct. Because there's no actual cybernetic skill.
But in the character generator there is.
Where? How do you?
In
How do you-
in skills, at the very bottom of the list, in the skill in the character generator that we created, that I created my
Okay,
character
click
in.
on it. Click on it,
Yeah.
and then read the text.
At GM and player's discretion. Oh wait, honey. Cybernetics can be presented as a custom skill rather than a specific use of mechanics and medicine. Ah.
Oh, yeah, so it's just a...
It's a custom skill.
Yep.
Aha.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
The wise man behind the curtain reveals all.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Other than that, any other questions or any feedback or comments or anything?
No.
Nope.
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 All right, cool.
9.
Yeah, well, it was a good session. Now things are starting to really get into gear.
Oh yeah, they are.
And I didn't kill anyone
Yeah.
or hurt anyone.
And neither
Unfortunately.
did I.
Hmm.
Well, Arthur like disarmed several people, so Arthur rather. So
I knocked them out.
yeah, you couldn't earth bend, so you people bended instead.
You turned them into human pretzels.
Oh my god. Okay, so and again, sorry for kind of ending it early, but like I said, there was a valid
No
point brought
problem.
up that I just didn't want to leave, like Emily and Alan, especially Alan because he missed the last session as well, kind of adrift in terms of knowing what's going on. So our next session will be the 8th at the same time. So if everybody can make that, then that's what we'll do.
I'll do my best.
All right, cool. So in that case, that's an episode.